Hello everyone and welcome back. As always, this is Kyle joining you in the booth for some lovely draft radio. And we got ourselves an interesting pack. We've got a Warden of the Eye, great card. Sutlati Soothsayer, also nice. Ponyback Brigade, really cool. And See the Unwritten, which is a card that I've never actually seen before or played. It's kind of cool. Reveal the top 8 cards, and I get to put a creature card from among them. I mean, if I'm going Sultai or Teamer, that seems fun. And why not, you know? Let's try it. We'll play See the Unwritten. Why the heck not? Am I right? Not much else to do. We do have a Pine Walker. Pine Walker being an amazing card if you actually get the chance to use it. If you have a lot of morphs, phenomenal card there. Can do a lot of fun stuff. Merek Nightblade, another great Outlast card, and the Kill Shot. Always good removal. I think I'm tempted to take the Merek Nightblade. I do like Abzan probably the most out of all of the archetypes in this. Although I could go Pine Walker. Pine Walker is cool, and it does go with our See the Unwritten first pick. I think these two cards are comparable in power level. I'll go Pine Walker. You know, I haven't had much time to try other archetypes, so you know what? Might as well, right? Go Pine Walker. Let's try it. Now there's an Abomination of Goodle. A good old Goodle, which looks kind of like an orangutan demon, which I think is kind of sweet. There's also a Throttle, a Disowned Ancient, and a Thornwood Falls. There's a Mardu Charm as well, but we're a little far from Mardu, I think. I'm tempted to go. I think the pick for us is going to be between the Ancient, the Abomination, and the Thornwood Falls. I am tempted to go Ancient, or Ancestor, sorry, simply because it's a little less color inclusive than the Throttle is, and our early game is pretty important, so we're going to grab that. Now this is interesting as well for us. There's a Snowhorn Rider if we decide that we want to try and make Teamer into a thing. However, with the Disowned Ancient, I am much more tempted to take Rite of the Serpent. You know, in a lot of sets, 6 mana for a removal spell would not be pretty good. In this set, it's still decent. So we're going to take it. I mean, I like having ways to reach out and touch people, and as much as Snowhorn Rider is an impressive card, I think sticking on in 2 colors early on is pretty great for us. Ooh, now the choice here for us is now going to be between Sultai Charm, which does give us a great deal of flexibility, or a Kill Shot. And I'll take the Sultai Charm. I think Sultai Charm is not necessarily better than Kill Shot, but I've played Abzan like 6 times, probably, between these drafts and the FNMs. Getting a little bored of the Abzan archetype. I mean, if it winds up getting past to me a bunch of different times, then that's fine, but Sultai Charm is good enough that I can justify taking it and doing something different, so Sultai Charm it is. Well, that's a little awkward. The Hardened Scales is definitely a sweet card if you're going into the dedicated Abzan archetype. But we are not. We will take into... I guess we could take it on the off chance that we get good stuff. Or we could just take Smite the Monstrous, which is probably safer for us anyway. Hardened Scales is fine if we want to build. And we do eventually want to build. But an Abomination of Goodle is pretty sweet for us if we're going to decide to be in Sultai, and that's what I would like to try. So we're going to take good old Goodle. Second Sultai Charm is sweet as well. Very good for us. So far so good. It looks like we're going to be in base green-black and then splashing blue for our cooler stuff. Siegecraft is awful, as is Erase. Summit Prowler is fine. Quiet Contemplation is something I'm not really going to play. I guess I could take Jeskai Banner on the off chance that I use it to splash for something. Yeah, no, I'll just take Summit Prowler, just in case something bad happens. I don't know. that pack was really weak for us. But that's okay. Then we have a Dragon Throne of Tarkir, card I haven't exactly tried. Giving your Equipped Creature Defender is generally not something you want to do. But using this as a really slow finisher probably is. I'm tempted to just take Highland Game, though. Our two drops are important in this format, and as cool as this sounds as a finisher, we've got See the Unwritten, Pine Walker, and Abomination for finishers, and 2 charms, so I'm going to take the Highland Game. I'm going to beef up my 2-drop stuff. Ooh, Krumar Bondkin is very nice to see here. I mean, Karu Dreadmaw is fine as well, but I like creatures that can attack, so pretty simple job there. Our choice is between Awaken the Bear and Scaldkin. Scaldkin is fine. Getting ourselves a nice little flyer is always decent, but I'm actually going to take Awaken the Bear. It's going to pump up our early drops, make us swing through a little bit more than we would normally. Plus, I'm trying really hard to stay as a base green-black deck. Make it a little bit easier on our mana curve. We haven't exactly seen too much in the way of mana fixing. The last Sultai deck that I did, which is up on YouTube if you guys want to check that out, had some really great mana fixing. We had 2 Polluted Deltas and 2 Opulent Palaces. So that's great. But as you can see, we have 0 mana fixing right here. And so I think keeping our mana base as unambitious as possible is good. On that thinking, we're going to grab the banner. So, doing that for the children. Down. Okay, so now we've got a little bit of mana fixing. We've got a 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 1-drop, a 3-drop, technically another 3-drop. Pine Walker is decent for us. This is actually a deck where I would be okay having hidden secrets or secret plans, I guess, as the case may be. See the Unwritten is going to be cool. Feed the Clan I can see being like sideboard tech against like uber aggro in this format, but not necessarily. Alright, so we could take a Disowned Ancestor, which is great. There's another Hardened Scales, but we're not Abzan. We are Sultai, and we're going to take a Debilitating Injury. Nice, strong removal. Shores us up against the early game, and it keeps us on that unambitious black-green plan. So, happy to see that. Wow, that's a high Sentinels of Arashi. Yikes. That's insane. That's actually terrifying. Does make me a little bit sad that we didn't take the Abzan stuff earlier. We could probably have a sweet deck, although I will say, Sultai is coming together kind of nicely down here. So, that's fine. I mean, if somebody else is going to grab that, that's going to be awesome. There's also a Kill Shot, but we're taking Dismal Blackwater, or Dismal Backwater. I will continue to interject letters that don't belong in these actual words. So, taking the Backwater and feeling pretty happy about it. Shore up that mana base. Ooh, Meandering Tower Shell. I mean, it's kind of cool on defense, certainly. Does give us a finisher of a slower sort. I don't mind taking it. We got big monsters and terrifying rares. So, feeling pretty good about that, I guess. Our lovely, and the Dismal Backwater is actually kind of a nice pickup for us because it's going to let us stay on with our plan and get the blue mana we need to use our other morph cards. So the pick for us is going to be between Disowned Ancestor and Rite of the Serpent. We've already got 1, 2, 3, 4 removal spells. I think I'm happy just taking another Disowned Ancestor and making sure our early game is strong. We've got stuff too. I mean, Savage Punch is in the pack as well, as is Secret Plans, but keep our mana base unambitious, and I think we'll be okay. Mardu Skull Hunter is going to be our pick here. Archer's Parapet is fine, certainly in the control build. Mardu Skull Hunter is also fine in a control build, but, you know, if we actually start attacking, get a little bit of incidental value out of our Skull Hunter, that's always good too. Alright, so now we've got a nice strong early game. We've got 2 Disowned Ancestors. We've got a Highland game and a Mardu Skull Hunter, plus a Debilitating Injury. So I think we're very happy with that. Not to say that I won't pick up a second Debilitating Injury, which is what I'm going to do, and ensure that our removal suite stays strong. But we're looking for relevant mana fixing. We've also got Meandering Tower Shell, the Abomination of Goodle, Pine Walker, and See the Unwritten to help us end some bigger games. So pretty happy about all that. Very, very happy. It's going decently, I think. Yeah, strong removal, good stuff. I guess we'll just take another Rite of the Serpent. Throttle's fine, but actual hard kill spells are better in this format, so that's okay. I'm actually going to take Longshot Squad here over Taigam Scheming. Of all the ways to delve, Taigam Scheming is not really what we want. Plus, we don't have any sweet delve cards yet anyway. I think this might just be more of a straight-up control deck, using an ambitious mana curve to splash for good removal in the form of our Sultai Charms and a strong bomb in the form of our Abomination of Goodle. Whereas Longshot Squad, nice 4-drop, gets bigger, keeps us going. I like it a lot. We'll grab Glacial Stalker here as opposed to the Sagu. Well, how many ways do we have to deal with flyers? I guess we could just take Sagu Archer, but I'm going to take the Stalker. There's a little more potential upside on using the Stalker as a poor man's finisher, plus it hits the ground as a 3-mana 2/2 when we need it. Rakshasa's Secret is what we're going to be grabbing here. A little bit of hand manipulation helps us. And it does eventually put stuff into the graveyard if we do get our hands on some awesome delve spells. And I think I'm just going to take the Behemoth on the off chance that we need it. Secret Plans is a sweet wheel in case we want it. I will steal Ponyback Brigade and Abzan Banner from those folks who would otherwise want them. And so far looking all right. We definitely need some mana fixing. So we will be prioritizing split lands of any kind. And of course, but there are no split lands of any kind. There is a second Sultai banner, which is not ideal. It is not awful, though. We seem to be doing okay on creatures. Savage Punch is fine. Alpine Grizzly is fine. I'm not taking Altar of the Brood because it is bad. It would be decent in this format if it let you mill yourself for incidental advantage, but as it is now, it's just bad. Because you don't know when you're going to draw this. It's not like Grind Clock, where you can inevitably make Grind Clock do really big, degenerate things. Nope, this card is just bad. I could just take Savage Punch. Do we look to be a Savage Punching kind of deck? No, I don't necessarily think we do. I think the pick is between Blinding Spray, Alpine Grizzly, and Singing Bell Strike. I've never played Blinding Spray, but it seems too unwieldy with that 5 mana cost. An Alpine Grizzly doesn't seem that much better either. I'm going to take the Singing Bell Strike. That should be fine for us, I think, on the off chance that we need it. Still no mana fixing. Well, that's okay. Hopefully we'll get some good stuff down the line. I mean, we are going to prioritize it with this third pack. We're just going to take another Disowned Ancestor. My removal is already inefficient to the point where I really don't need a Throttle chilling out, but Disowned Ancestors hold down the ground and they get bigger as time goes on, so very happy with that. We could take a Misfire Weaver here. I certainly wouldn't mind that. A nice little aggressive flyer helps us dodge some of the removal spells that float around this format. And we do have 2 blue sources, which is kind of nice, so it wouldn't make running our Misfire Weaver not so bad. There's also a Weave Fate if we truly wanted it. But I'm going to take the Misfire Weaver. That's a kind of a card that I'm alright with running. Ooh, now this is tough for us. Incremental Growth is a huge blowout if you can get it. It would make all of our lesser guys that much stronger. There's also an Abomination of Goodle and a Thornwood Falls. And I actually think I need to get the Thornwood Falls and just sort of make this deck a little bit more runnable. So that's what we're going to do. Grabbing Thornwood Falls. Very sad about passing up a sweet card there. Incremental Growth, I think, would have been our pick otherwise. But, you know, mana is especially important in this format. And now we've got 2 blue sources to help us contribute to this Glacial Stalker plan. So that's always real nice. I guess we could just take another Rite of the Serpent. Let's see how we're doing on creatures. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 creatures necessarily. I'm probably going to take Rite of the Serpent over Krumar Bondkin, although it's close. Am I even going to run? I already have 2 Rite of the Serpents. No, I think I'll take the Bondkin. It helps to have as much removal as possible. There is another Dragon Throne of Tarkir, which is fine, I'm sure, but Dismal Backwater is going to be our pick. Got to get in that mana fixing when we can. I'll take an Unyielding Krumar. A 4-mana 3/3 I think is better than a 3-mana 4/2. There's also Ujin's Nexus, which doesn't seem to do much for our deck, but that's okay. Longshot Squad is what we'll take here. Basically bigger threats. Yeah, bigger things that come down. Always fun there. The Altar of the Brood did wheel. There's also a Sultai banner if we truly wanted it. I don't think we do. I'll actually take the Grizzly here. And then I guess we could take Monastery Flock. Gives us a little flying control. Weave Fate to give us a little deck manipulation. An incredible wheel in the form of Abomination of Goodle, which we will absolutely play. That guy is insane. And, yeah. So far, so good. I mean, I'm probably not going to run Alpine Grizzly. And I probably can cut one of the Bondkin. Yeah, this seems pretty good, though, for us. Karu Dreadmaw is fine, if we absolutely need it. And Erase is not going to make this deck in any way, shape, or form. So, but that's okay. I mean, we've got some good-looking stuff. The mana base is not where I would like it to be. I will be completely honest about that, but that's okay. Sometimes in Magic, you don't wind up with the things you want. 21, 25, and then 27, 28. We got to cut 5 cards. That seems doable. Is See the Unwritten worth grabbing? Well, I'm not going to play Kara Dreadmaw. I'm actually not going to play that card. Although Kara Dreadmaw certainly is fine, I'm sure. But if I'm paying 5 mana, I want it to be able to attack. Alright. So Kara Dreadmaw is out. That's okay. We can afford to cut one more creature. Although I guess leaving him in would make See the Unwritten decent for us. Although with our 2 Longshot squads, our Meandering Tower Shell, our Pine Walker, we've already got a ton of stuff that's going to hit the ground as having 4 power. I'm really not too worried about this, actually. I'm actually going to cut this Weave Fate. As much as it's good, I mean, like, I get deck manipulation in the form of my Soul Tie Charms if I really need that too. So, going to take out our Weave Fate. I don't think it's as nearly as good as these ones anyway. Plus, removing blue cards from our deck, I think, is a better call than keeping them in, simply because of the mana base. Alright, so we just have to cut 3 more cards. I can probably cut an Awaken the Bear. That brings us to 2 more cards. I'm not going to cut my Debilitating Injuries. I can probably cut a Misfire Weaver. Although it's probably better to cut Glacial Stalker. So we'll cut a Stalker. 19, 21, 23, 24. So we just have to cut 1 more card. And I think we could simply cut this See the Unwritten, but I kind of want to keep it. I just want to try it. This is one of those moments where it might not be the smartest thing to do, but it's definitely the most fun thing to do. And let's be honest, folks. I'm all for playing strategic in Magic. It's really important to play strategically, but you gotta want to enjoy some of the things that you're doing too. Plus, with the 2 Longshot squads, our Meandering Tower Shell, our Pine Walker, eventually maybe even Disowned Ancestor will get to the point where we need it, and a Krumar Bondkin. It's not totally unlikely that this will actually fire off. So, stuff to think about. I might just cut this Monastery Flock. And that seems pretty good. And that's going to bring us to a lovely 23 cards. I think that's going to be pretty good for us, folks. Beautiful. All right. Well, this is going to be our deck sitting at a lovely 18 at 23 cards. Feeling real strong about that. And actually, now that I look at it, because we were able to keep our mana base that much more disciplined in taking only the black and the green cards that we really truly wanted, I think this deck is actually going to be a lot better than we thought it was. Well, folks, I am going to make sure that we get a beautiful Janktastic name so that you guys can be amused. I'll enter in our sideboard, do our mana base, and see you fine folks in round 1.